So we've got a special treat today. We're here at Wood Defender in Mansfield, Texas. But then if you really want to work your butt off,
that's right.
You can do that.
That's right.
So there is literally a price point for every person that wants to stain.
And you know what's cool? I'll tell you, I can tell you some true stories of guys that couldn't afford and they wanted to start off, and they went and did 3 jobs with a pumpy, and they had enough money to buy an ST2W. So when you buy the ST2W, you can apply stain with the brass one. This is the one for chemical cleaning. So they saved up enough money, they got him an ST2W. Then when they had even more money in revenue and money to spend on other equipment, they converted this back to a chemical cleaner and used that to clean fences, and then upgraded to something to apply stain.
So if you're not into stain, they'll build you a car too. So if staining isn't your thing, you can see Wood Defender and they'll build you a nice Mustang. How much would I have to pay for that?
That's on our off time.
So it's free.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's
our yoga.
The hobby, the yoga
of the workday.
Yoga of the workday.
When we need to start tinkering on something else and take a break, they play in that.
Who are you? Were you hired just for equality in height? Because this guy's like about a foot shorter than you.
I've got the reach.
You're the top shelf guy.
That's right. I'm the top shelf guy.
Roy and Todd, they have got the perfect crease all the way down their jeans every time I see them. Now Roy's dressed in some slacks. That's a little weird.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it's not normal. So, but he'll be switching into a little starch here shortly, so you'll be a little bit more comfortable with him.
I really feel off balance because of that.
I understand. I do too. Very, very quick process. We're also going to, on this first panel, Brady's going to put on a $100 Stihl backpack pump sprayer to show you that regardless of what method you use to apply the product, the end result's always going to be the same. Okay, so if you stain the fence with a $100 pump-up sprayer or a $16,000 pro package, those panels will look exactly the same when you're done. It's just a matter of efficiency. I want you all to notice, we talk about coverage rates of 125 square foot a gallon. He's going to show you what that looks like. A lot of guys are real tentative to put it on and don't want to get any runs or drips. 125 square foot a gallon, it is running and dripping down the fence. That's what's going to give us all of our protection, and it's going to self-level. So with this product, again, saturation. As long as we meet saturation, it's always going to soak in evenly, uniformly, no runs, no drips, no back brushing required. All of that in a matter of moments is already self-leveled, okay? Now, I also want you to take note, this is a transparent fence stain. We can't hide any of the imperfections that were in the wood before we started, and in some cases, the transparent will highlight that, all right? So everybody's aware of the state of the world we're in and the availability of lumber. We're getting lesser grade cedar, okay? This is kind of what you're gonna see, that wane in the wood. But think about it. On these boards, you can see the wane in the wood before we started, so you can plan on seeing them when we get done with transparent stain. It's gonna highlight any variances, any differences, knot holes, wood grain. If you're unsure if you got enough on or if that's the way it should look, go put some more on. Okay, you're not gonna harm the finished process or the finished look of the fence. Nothing you can do. So while we're there, let's make sure that we've got all these areas touched up. Just by spraying it on the front and the back, it's gonna wrap itself around the edges, the top, the bottom, and we're gonna stain every edge of that board by applying it to the front and the back. Okay, he's gonna bring his gun down past the top runner of the fence. Therefore, when he comes out of that runner. Okay, that's what we're after. When we talk about semi-transparent, 175 square foot a gallon coverage, that's what that looks like, to the point where it's wanting to run down the surface of the fence.
I think we're okay.
All right, so he's gonna cut in along the top. Now look, stop. Step back. Everybody seeing what we're seeing already? So this is real quick. We're gonna learn from this. Everybody's gonna be an expert. You can see the tops of the pickets aren't stained. Okay, that's gonna be a callback. When the housewife goes upstairs, clean up the playroom, looks out over her backyard and sees the white pickets everywhere, you're gonna be coming back.
Let's get the elbow up, and we're going to stay close to the fence, and we're going to kind of do a raking action. So you'll pull the trigger and come down just past the nail holes. Come on
There you
down.
go.
Yeah.
See the difference? Now
There
we're
you
getting the
go.
tops of the pickets. That's crucial.
They can put that on there and it's not going to change anything about the way it absorbs into the wood. A lot of stains that you're going to see out there in the market, if you paint, you're going to get those lateral marks and you're going to have back brushing you have to do. It doesn't matter how thick you put this stuff on, it can be dripping down the picket itself and it's going to blend in. You can put it on here and then leave that panel for a couple hours, and they were talking about like 105-degree heat in the sun, and come back 2 hours later and it'll still blend in. And that's amazing, because that's one of the biggest things we fight.
For about an hour is what we really are shooting for. The longer it can be on, the better, right? But it's gonna happen, and it does happen. But in the short amount of time that this has been on here, there's nothing you're gonna do to get it off the surface of that wood now. It's had an opportunity to soak in, and it's gonna stay there. It's gonna bead the water, it's gonna shed the water nicely. The fence is protected.
What does Wyoming think?
I like it.
It's good.
These are some fellow people from Wyoming, all the way down here in Texas.
I
Who
know.
thought I'd run into Wyoming down
Yeah, I
here?
know, right? We hitchhiked.
So you just put that on before you start, and it just gives it an extra little film to help keep it from sticking?
Yeah, especially in the summertime when it gets really hot, it'll stay wet longer. So we're just worried about anything porous right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going ahead of the guy spraying.
So it's all the brick, keeping all the brick clean
We're not
and
worried
wet.
about the windows, the gutters. Now, if the paint, you know, this is good paint, so if the paint on the gutters was real chalky, then we'd probably want to keep that wet, because it will absorb the stain at that
Yep.
point. I can promise you the windows, the gutters, it will all be cleaner than when we first got here. So
you have to make a trip back, or you don't want the neighbor to have overspray. So you always want to check the neighbor's property as well.
Hey Mark, welcome to Standard Paints Wood Defender.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for coming. I'll just show you around a little bit. So this is our retail area. We don't do a lot of retail business, or not quite so much anymore with the distribution that we have around the city and the country, but we do definitely still welcome them in. When customers are knocking it out, we package it in 1 gallon pails, 5 gallon pails, 55 gallon drums, and 330 gallon stainless steel tote tanks that we ship back and forth to consumers across the country. We supply epoxies to manufacturers across the country. The newest product that we released a year or two ago is our 200 series. 200 series is VOC compliant in all 50 states. It is one of the only oil-based stains that is compliant for shipping into California and the OTC states. So we're real proud of that. Take you into the lab here. So in the laboratory, we do a lot of competitive testing. We do a lot of QC of both raw materials and finished products. One thing that we really pride ourselves on is maintaining retains of every single product that we manufacture, so that if a customer of ours is in Wyoming, he has an issue on the job site, we can pull the exact same material that he's working with and has the issue and try to replicate the problems that he has, help him work through that problem and on to the next job so that he can continue to grow his business. So you've got sample bottles. If any of our customers need to look at it on wood, we'll be happy to ship you that. We got full sample bottle kits, which includes one of every color. If you need specific colors, we're able to individualize that as well, send those to you. We have samples of all the products available at the retail level, wholesale level, anything that you would find in any of your local home improvement centers or independent fence wholesalers. And we run competitive tests with our QUV cabinet. So what we're trying to do is replicate extended weather testing after 1,000 hours, equivalent to a 1.5 year exposure, Central Florida environment, 100% humidity, a lot of UV, and also to a water spray in that particular cabinet. So
I'm
we
curious,
can test.
how do you compare to that competitor right there?
We compare.
You sure?
We do. We compare. Yes, sir.
You know how to do it. Cade's not very good at holding the camera, so let's see if you're better than Cade. But one of the things Melissa was saying inside the class is that they love to love on their customers. So they love to see their customers' projects when they've finished staining and use those in their social media and help boost their brand, because that's good for everybody. So
That's right.
that's the one thing. If you are a Wood Defender customer and you've got great photos, make sure, and even photos or videos, make sure and send those over to tag Wood Defender in them. And
Yeah.
send those to Melissa, and she'll make sure that you get the fame you deserve.
So we run promotions. We don't just share them and are proud of them. We then turn around and run promotions in their demographic area to drive their social media presence and to support them even further, which is something we don't actually talk about a lot unless you ask, but we do that on our customers' projects. We support them in that way. So
If you're doing something cool, make sure they see it.
yeah.
Now where are we going, Todd? You taking
We're just going for a little drive. Yeah, we're just gonna go out for a little drive.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Yeah, I can't even video it. I'll tell you what it looks like, but I have some ideas of what I might see in there. My people are counting on me. We're gonna go find out what's in here, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you what's in there. So stay tuned. I can't show you, but I can tell you.